The Rosetta Stone, the key that gave ancient Egypt its voice back. Few archaeological discoveries have transformed our understanding of the ancient world as dramatically as the Rosetta Stone. At first glance, it is an unremarkable object, a broken slab of dark stone, densely covered with text. Yet this fragment unlocked a language that had been silent for nearly 2,000 years. Through the Rosetta Stone, ancient Egypt began to speak again, not through myth or speculation, but in its own words. The stone was discovered in 1799 by French soldiers during Napoleon's campaign in Egypt, near the town of Rosetta, modern-day Rashid. At the time, Europe was gripped by fascination with Egypt's monuments, its pyramids, temples, and mysterious hieroglyphs. These symbols adorned walls and statues everywhere, yet no one could read them. They were seen as decorative or magical, rather than linguistic. The Rosetta Stone changed that assumption forever. What made the Rosetta Stone extraordinary was not what it said, but how it said it. The inscription contains the same decree written in 3 different scripts: hieroglyphic, demotic, and ancient Greek. Hieroglyphs were the sacred script used for religious and monumental purposes. Demotic was a simplified, everyday script. Greek was the administrative language of Egypt under Ptolemaic rule. Because ancient Greek was already well understood, scholars realized that the stone offered a rare opportunity, a direct comparison between a known language and 2 unknown ones. The text itself is a decree issued in 196 BCE, praising King Ptolemy V and outlining the honors granted to him by Egyptian priests. Politically, it is unremarkable. Intellectually, it is revolutionary. For the first time, scholars could test the idea that hieroglyphs represented sounds, not just symbols or ideas. This challenged centuries of misunderstanding. The breakthrough came in the early 19th century, driven most famously by Jean-François Champollion. Champollion, a linguist with a deep knowledge of ancient languages, realized that certain hieroglyphs enclosed in cartouches represented royal names. By comparing these names across the Greek and hieroglyphic texts, he demonstrated that hieroglyphs functioned phonetically. In 1822, he announced that he had deciphered the system. Egyptology was born. The consequences were enormous. Once hieroglyphs could be read, thousands of inscriptions suddenly became accessible. Temple walls revealed prayers, historical records, and political propaganda. Tombs spoke of daily life, personal grief, and hopes for the afterlife. Ancient Egyptians were no longer silent figures frozen in stone. They became individuals with voices, opinions, and emotions. The Rosetta Stone also transformed how scholars approached the past. It demonstrated the importance of multilingual texts and comparative methods in historical research. Similar breakthroughs would later follow, such as the decipherment of cuneiform and other ancient scripts. The stone became a symbol not only of Egypt, but of human knowledge itself, the idea that lost languages can be recovered with patience, evidence, and insight. Today, the Rosetta Stone is housed in the British Museum, where it remains one of the most visited objects in the world. Its presence there has also sparked ongoing debate about cultural ownership and colonial history. Egypt has repeatedly called for its return, arguing that the stone is a central part of its national heritage. This controversy adds a modern political dimension to an ancient object, reminding us that history is never neutral. Beyond museums and academic debates, the Rosetta Stone has entered everyday language as a metaphor. We now use the phrase "a Rosetta Stone" to describe any key that unlocks understanding, whether in genetics, computing, or culture. This linguistic afterlife reflects the stone's deeper meaning. It represents the moment when confusion gives way to clarity. The Rosetta Stone is powerful because it connects past and present. It shows that history is not lost beyond recovery, and that silence can be broken. Through one damaged slab of stone, an entire civilization regained its voice. In deciphering the Rosetta Stone, humanity did more than read ancient texts. It learned how to listen across time, and discovered that even the most distant past still has something to say.